what's going on? I'm Jamie Dawn, your revolutionary astrologer, bringing you this week's Celestial Wisdom video. And this is for the week of March 14th through the 21st. We're coming off of a new moon in Pisces. Hopefully everyone has been able to set some intentions, work with the element of water, as well as maybe just experience some nice respite over the weekend. It was supposed to have this dreamy like quality, probably didn't get a lot of things done, which is okay. We're allowed to have some extra time off and allowed to just play a little bit and maybe use our imaginations to create some beauty and peace and harmony in the world that we're looking for, or to create some sort of fantasy land that we want to play in. And with Mars and Gemini is our playful sign, and it's very youthful, and it wants to always have something going on. So I'm sure that that was active for many of us. If for some reason this new moon was a little darker, because it is a dark moon, because the moon is not visible when it's new, it's sitting there canoodling with the sun, then if it was a little darker for you, hopefully you gave yourself time to meditate, to not medicate unless you really need it, but that you gave yourself permission to just take some time for self-care and maybe even doing a bit of a retreat, or just taking, going for a walk, hopefully by the water. Hopefully some of you who are watching this are in a warm climate and you can be outside. And if you're in a cold climate, you can still be outside and play. All right, so enough of me encouraging all of us to have played this last weekend. Let's talk about the big Mars and Gemini show this week, as well as Mercury is making its move into Pisces right at the beginning. So on Monday, the 15th, we've got Mercury moving into its fall position in Pisces, but it doesn't mean bad. When it says fall, what I mean by Mercury being at fall in Pisces is that our minds tend to get dreamy, and we may feel as though we're just having these random thoughts, or we wander around aimlessly. Those of you with Mercury and Pisces, you may struggle with directions, even getting out of a paper bag, right? Get lost or distracted. Even if you're in your own neighborhood or environment, very likely this Mercury and Pisces energy could have us all feeling a little more scattered than usual. And there could be some oversensitivity or easily impressed upon during this time. So just pay attention. If for some reason someone is saying things, because that Mars and Gemini can use words to like daggers, or being very pointed in the way that they're speaking to us. And if we're being really super sensitive, maybe overly sensitive, we could take it personally, or it just doesn't make sense. And then it could cause some confusion, which of course frustrates us or makes us feel like we're not good enough, or whatever. It could get triggered, especially those of us who really value intellect and being able to communicate it. The other thing with Mercury in Pisces that'll be active is we may become more empathetic, which I think is fantastic. And this feeling of telepathic information, where we can maybe hear other people's thoughts, we sense other people telepathically. It's kind of a cool thing. For those of you who practice it, you know what I'm talking about. Also, this is a time where mediumship can really come online. So those of you who are practicing your intuitive skills and you want to connect with those on the other side, use this energy, ride it out to really hone that skill on a deeper level. The other thing too is that communication could come through some sort of artistic medium like dance or art or therapy. So this is a great time for those of you who maybe use the new moon to say, what's something new I want to start? I want to really get my head wrapped around my mental health, or I'm working on a particular subject matter and I just need some extra guidance, maybe a teacher or a mentor. This is a great time to initiate that. This is also a good week for interviews, accepting offers, that sort of thing, because as Mercury enters into Pisces, it's going to have an immediate sextile with the moon and Uranus in Taurus. So that means it could activate something suddenly for us, like if you're giving a pitch for an interview or a sales deal, or you want to have some influence in a meeting. This could give you the opportunity to kind of, as some of my friends and clients have said, be a word ninja, where suddenly you're talking about something and you're able to persuade others to your side, and they don't even know it's happening until they've signed on the dotted line or shake your hand, right? It is possible that this day and into the next can make us very sentimental. So if you've had some wonderful playtime, connections, whatever this new moon stirred up, it could cause some sentimentality to come out and make us lost in our thoughts a little bit more, trying to fantasize about what we want to make real. And it may also have some of us communicating our feelings and confirm some things that we were sensing or intuiting with someone, that now there's words that go with it to go, aha, they were feeling the same way, or, oh, maybe that was a bit off and we can talk about it, right? So, and then as the week continues, Mars is going to start making this trine towards Saturn. And the trine is going to be exact on Sunday. So we're going to be feeling Mars and Gemini moving towards this trine. We're also going to have on Thursday, Pluto sextiling the sun and Mars sextiling Chiron. And so this is going to give us a really big energy. And this is why I say this week is the Mars and Gemini show. So we're going to have, I'll talk about the trine first. So it's actually exact on Monday. I said Sunday, but it's Monday. And we're going to probably have a couple of different things. So just pay attention. First of all, Mars and Gemini, I mentioned the words, right? How our words can harm or heal. They can become like daggers. They can, anything of that nature just offers opportunities for us to get easily provoked. And how we navigate that is going to be important. We're going to feel it, especially when this trine, which is a harmonious aspect, it also means that it comes very easily or naturally. And when Mars is involved, it can often happen without thinking. So we have to be careful. Also, whatever information we're gathering at this time, because this is a big information gathering or disseminating with Mars involved. Mars is a separator. So it may be that we are receiving information and then automatically sending it out. So what we may find out is that we start establishing some boundaries here, some new boundaries because of new facts that come into play with Saturn involved. And it's possible that we can now take these big ideas or these, all the information, the to-do list, whatever, and we can put it into some sort of planned process. I will say this week, patience is probably going to be tested, especially when this desire nature in us comes out. Mars rules that solar plexus, which is where the ego or the personality in the chakra system resides. And so when it's overinflated, obviously there's going to be a battle of the wills. There's projection that often happens. There's this desire of, I'm going to get something out here no matter what. And so there could be sort of this feeling of someone being pushy on us, or maybe we get pushy. But the other thing that I really like about how we can use this Mars and Gemini trine Saturn is that authority figures can offer us support. So it's a great time to have those one-on-ones or group meetings with your executives, your VIPs, your parents, government, whoever you consider to be an authority, because if you're looking for support for something, this is a great week to ask for that. The other thing too is that we may find that some new boundaries need to be established. And so this is an opportunity to talk through what that might be, what it might look like. The other thing with Thursday, as I mentioned, is that Pluto is going to be sextiling the sun, and the sun will be in its last degrees of Pisces before it moves into Aries on Saturday. So we're going to have the sextile of Pluto, which offers powerful expressions, hidden wisdom, personal goals that can be achieved. Again, great time, Thursday in particular, to really talk through what is it that you want long term. Now, the other aspect that's happening around Thursday is Mars in Gemini is going to be sextiling Chiron as well. And Chiron being in Aries. So our thoughts and our words and the connections that they can bring us great healing. And they can also offer to others great healing. It's going to challenge us, of course. Aries likes that challenge. And Mars is the god of war. So it's always going to battle, right? Which is a challenge. So it is going to challenge us when it comes to having the conversations. But the sextile aspect is efforts well done. So we're putting the effort in, and the reward that we can reap from this is the risk and reward kind of aspect, is that we can find great healing for ourselves and for others, that our wounding can become a motivation to help others. It also can activate this desire to protect others. So when we're giving our pitch, let's say to authority, that we want to persuade them onto our side, we give the benefits and the values to why we want what we want, and it's to protect or to nurture or to help others. I know Mars is not a nurturer per se, it's a protector, but still it kind of goes all in alignment with that, especially with Chiron involved. The other thing is, this is going to be a highly sensitive time. So we're going to be very sensitive to the issues that could threaten our own individuality. So that's something else that may pop up for us. Just pay attention when those wounds come out. Those are opportunities for us to heal, or to use those wounds or weapons and turn them into tools. That's another way that we can use this Mars sextiling Chiron. Then on Saturday, we have our spring equinox, and then Venus is following right along behind the sun into Aries. So at the spring equinox, as we know, it's a time of balance. And I'm going to offer energetically, we're going to be looking for balance between the head, the heart, and the body. So the mind, body, spirit alignment. And we're wanting to, this is an opportunity to balance all of these or bring them into harmony. It's also, we're going to have this feeling, if you will, of spring is sprung here in the northern hemisphere. So there's going to be this feeling of life returning, and maybe an impulse to begin and initiate, and maybe have some vitality and life force to do some of the things we've done. So if you felt sluggish, if you felt like you needed to sleep for hours or days, now we have this energy that just gives us an extra dose of impulse to get going. And there may be a desire or willingness to explore new territory. So there's a feeling of fearlessness that can take shape here. You can apply this to whatever area of life that you're working on. So if it's, I want to explore something new in my role, I'm going to take on something that is so foreign to me that I'm not used to, but I want to try it out and be fearless about it. Or a conversation that you've been anticipating having with somebody that could be conflict, but you're like, okay, I'm ready to take this on. Or maybe you're ready to really commit to a relationship or to start one, or you and your partner are finally ready to start that family, whatever it might be. There's going to be this desire or feeling of like, I'm ready to go. One thing I want to point out about fear and courage, and mostly because Aries is a very courageous sign, is that we can't have fear without courage and courage without fear. They go hand in hand. They're really good mates. And so keep that in mind, is that fear isn't there to harm us. It's there to invite us to be courageous. And courageous takes a real strong will. And so anybody who is familiar with the body and fitness and how the chakras work with it, again, I mentioned that Mars rules that solar plexus. And so if you are wanting to activate more courage, do anything that has to do with the core work. And it could be breath, it could be body movement, it could be what you're eating, any of those things. I particularly like body movement and breath for activating that solar plexus. But that, if you have to have that big conversation, this is a great way of doing it. Maybe doing a power pose and then practicing what you're going to say. Now, let's talk about Venus in Aries, because she's moving right in alignment right there on Sunday into Monday. And she's going to activate this bold, passionate, spontaneous, let's see, what are some other words? Witty, charming, all of those things that Venus in Aries is about. So there's going to be this excitement that gets activated for us. Could be danger also, going where angels dare to tread when it comes to relationships, finances, what we value. You want to know what people value? See where they spend their time, energy, resources, who they partner with, all of those things that Venus is all about. We also may find more of this fearlessness, and we have this extra push with Venus going, I'm ready to dive in headfirst into something. We can attract others by being direct. So you might find a lot of direct communication, a lot of directed focus, which I think is great. And it has an innocence to it. That's the thing about Aries. Anybody who's an Aries watching, or you have a dominant Aries in your chart, you have this beautiful innocence about you that many of us are just attracted to, especially if you have Venus in Aries, where it's that lightheartedness, that fun, that wittiness that comes out, that it just reminds us not to take life so seriously, and I love that. The other thing is that we could be making strong, instantaneous decisions about love or about relationships and money and the things that we value. So do be careful if you're feeling a little bit impulsive right now. There's a reason for it, but remember, keep in mind, there are long-term effects that whether it's spending money or it's getting pregnant or starting a new job, obviously if you're starting something, then something else has to end. And I'll talk about that in another video, because we have a full moon in Libra on the 28th. So a couple of weeks, but certainly things are changing for us constantly. And this is just another push, another opportunity to welcome the change and maybe not overthink it. I think that's the other piece about the whole spring equinox and Venus in Aries is she gives us the extra boost. The sun gives us the extra boost. It loves being in Aries, and it gives us this added thing of don't overthink it. Just go for it and see what happens. All right, you guys, I want to hear how it's going. Like, subscribe, share, comment. I love when you guys are interacting with me. Find me at jamiedawn.com, and thank you for watching. Have such a good week, everybody.